And we're in. Dean is joining us again today, and we are talking about this puff piece of a documentary.
Yeah, I mean, what happened?
From Men's Health.
I don't even know where to fucking start with this thing.
Did we just lose the art of building documentaries?
Well, this was a YouTube video, dude.
No, it was a bad one.
It was a bad YouTube video.
But even the one we watched before, although production was slightly better, Brian didn't really bring the heat either. Like, the story in both of these is lacking.
Yeah, I think
one doesn't have any story.
I think that you have to have a narrative or there's no point. And even if you have to construct the narrative, bigger, stronger, faster, out of the footage that you have.
Yeah. I think a lot of documentaries are made that way, right? Like the famous chimpanzee one that came out last year, like they've been in that jungle as a production team for 20 years. Like, you don't go in there saying, I'm going to follow chimp A.
Yeah,
you film and then you build a story around what you film. I think that's normal and the best way for a documentary, because the story is real.
But I thought they made that whole thing up. I thought that whole monkey story was all fabricated.
Which one? The chimps?
Yeah, I thought that was all fake.
No. They've literally been in that jungle like 30 years.
I know, but like the storyline, like the power
like Johnny goes and becomes captain. No, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
I thought I read something about that. I could be totally wrong.
They made it up in the sense, I think they named them and shit. Like, like it's not named, King Johnny Caesar Monkey.
It's like they just wrote the story and then built the footage around their narrative.
Oh, you think they lied?
Yeah, like they have the footage and then they made up this story around it.
Yeah.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's real. I've listened to the whole podcast of that director and the guy who manages the team. It sounds pretty real.
Yeah.
I
don't remember. I thought I had read something like that, but also could have been
haters.
A hate post.
Yeah, it could have been his competitor, chimpanzee director.
Yeah, it's the guy who's actually making the second version.
Yeah. No, like, chimps are so much like humans, like I believe all that. I do think
that story was great.
Dude, it was insane. All these and like animal ones are like an easy one, right? Because they're visually so cool and we're watching things that we don't get to see every day. So then, when we're diving into health, it doesn't, ring the same visual, right? When I saw Planet Earth in like 06 or something.
Oh, dude, life-changing.
Life-changing.
There's life before and after seeing
Planet Earth. Bro, shout out Mike Sean. Like, his family had like basically a movie theater in the house with a drop-down projector.
Who is this?
Mike Sean, like my little bro.
Okay.
You met him one time.
Okay.
He has like a fucking upstairs loft, and they had this huge projector. Who knows what, fucking 100+ inches, And we're just up there watching Planet Earth after playing Call of Duty all day. Just mind blown. Like diving into caves and shit. Like it's
that's when like drone footage was kind of getting new, right?
I feel like that was probably the first blow your brain drone footage. 06, 07, 08, like it was so good. And I've been into documentaries, but I think around that age I really got into documentaries, and I've been into them since. And then I can't tell you the last like really good one I saw. Like really good.
Like animal style or just
any of them.
Oh, Icarus was the last really good one.
No, Icarus was life-changing too. Icarus was insanely good, but that was maybe 2016, right? Like that's 10 years we haven't had a banger. The chimpanzee one's good.
The Jordan one's pretty good.
Last Dance is pretty good. Last Dance is pretty good. That's also a gimme. Like give me an iPhone with Michael Jordan and that much footage, I'm gonna make something cool. True. Like the story's so good. The Kobe one's supposed to come out this year. The Sebum one is supposed to be June. I just looked that up to kind of plan our set. I was hoping it was sooner. I think Sebum's June. I think the Kobe one might be Feb. That's probably going to be.
I don't know if I'm ready for a Kobe doc though.
No, it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be really good.
I'm hoping it's good.
I think it's gonna be good if they dig into any of his past, because like that's what they don't even talk about now is like how interesting his life was. Like he fucking grew up in Italy and shit. Like he grew up in Italy, he speaks 6 languages. Grew up in Philadelphia when his dad was like an okay NBA player, but that'll be good. I think that's HBO, maybe Netflix.
I feel like I've seen some.
I think
good,
it's HBO. I'm
like,
sure.
Yeah. I've seen some good like scammer thriller type documentaries.
Yeah,
I just can't remember them off the top of my head.
I think the ones that are winning are the murder ones, and
crime.
I don't watch a ton of those.
I don't watch
a big
the murder
one.
ones really.
Yeah, I'll watch a big one and a good one, but I don't watch.
I watched the Scott Peterson one.
Yeah, there's like a new one every week. Oh, Dahmer, or was that a show? I don't even know.
That was a show.
I know it went viral.
There's a new OJ one that just came out.
Yeah, because we need another one of those.
I do like OJ. I've watched one OJ one that was pretty good.
The most recent, the OJ show was great.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I watched like
that show was really good.
The American Crime Story one.
Yeah, that was really good.
I only watched a little bit of that.
But like, there's so much going on in health and fitness. How do we not like make something good?
Well, when was this made?
Right now.
About 15 minutes ago, I think is when they finished.
No, literally, it's brand new. That's why I brought it up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got an ad for it. It's brand new.
Well, I couldn't. So when I went to go search for it, I searched generation only, and it wasn't in the. I couldn't find it that way. I had to type in Flex for it to come up.
Right.
On Amazon.
I found it. I don't know if I got fed an ad or Twitter. So we're talking about Generation Flex, which was sold to me via internet, based on body dysmorphia in young males, based on Instagram and shit, which is something like pretty close to my heart. Where I've purposely created my career not oiled up, sitting on my Lambo trying to sell you pre-workout, and that's what the industry was then and is even more so now. So I was like, oh, this is going to be great. All of us have a sprinkle of body dysmorphia. I don't love taking off my shirt and flexing everywhere. It's just not what I do. I don't work out with my shirt off.
Yeah, I think that's everybody.
And everyone's got a sense of it. And then even the ones that do only work out with their shirt off, they have it too, right? Because they're trying to get
maybe even more so than the person.
Yeah, they're trying to get the confirmation that they look good, And so I understand all that. And lifting arguably is more popular on the internet now than ever, right? You get every influencer from every genre is now a lifter. You get the business guys, you got the real estate guys, you got the comedy guys. Everyone's getting Fusi's getting jacked last night. Everyone's trying to get fucking jacked, right? Everyone wants to be fucking jacked. And so I was like, oh, this has some, legs to it. So then I Google around and it says it's made by Men's Health, and that gave me like both feelings. I was like, well, that could be really good, right? Because hopefully they have an expert somewhere in that organization, which they used to. Shout out my boy BJ Gador. He was like in charge of content, and he's a really good, smart coach. So I was like, all right, maybe they got some shit like that. And then you turn this thing on, and Dean texted us about it. And the first half an hour, they're trying to teach me how to like get popular on Instagram.
Yeah, it's like how algorithms work.
Yeah, try to get some shares, try to get some likes. And then the whole second half, they don't even talk about body dysmorphia and social media. And all they're feeding me is FDA laws.
Yeah.
The whole thing became a supplement.
Yeah, and
movie quickly.
It's weird. It was very strange.
Men's Health is a propagator of body dysmorphia.
Oh, that's the thing that threw me off the most.
For sure.
They're basically were calling themselves the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Except that they're pushing it on social media and not on traditional media.
It almost felt like it was an attack on digital media.
I think they have changed a bit
because they're paper media.
Yeah. I think
it was very strange.
They have changed a bit, and I don't know what other term other than say like they've kind of gone woke over the last years. Because growing up, you buy their magazine right next to Flex magazine.
Yeah, The Rock on it.
And it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. They're both about how to get jacked. Maybe they have Men's Health has one or two more things about like, I don't know, sexual health or like fucking green shakes, and Flex magazine's only about building muscle, but basically it was another muscle mag. But I have noticed, even in the last 10 years, I think Bart was in there because they were trying to like love different races and bodies, and Bart was a little fluffy at the time, and he got completely naked on there, I think. And other dude, they'd grab like a white dude, Asian dude, and a black dude, and they're all just like varying sizes of fit. And Bart was still fit.
It was like the celebrity push too, right? If whoever had a cool action movie coming out, they're probably going to be on Men's Health.
Hugh Jackman and shit. But and if we looked up their last 12 covers, I bet you it's not as muscle bound. But I do agree with you. They're kind of fighting themselves. But the bigger picture to me is like, as I started trying to like make my own documentary in my head, thinking about how bad this one is, like what story they should have gone with, I actually think I disagree with the premise. Where me and Dean and Jim grew up in the non-social media era.
Yeah.
I was probably 18 when I feel like, even 21 when social media made like an impact on me. We had MySpace, right? We had MySpace and Napster and
it wasn't
whatever.
our life though. We would do it temporarily.
It was nothing.
We'd go back to our normal life.
It very, very little influenced me as a person.
Yeah.
And I remember being in 5th grade and wanting abs.
Oh yeah. I want the the classic Google search of a 15-year-old boy in the early 2000s is I want Brad Pitt's abs from Fight Club.
Yeah.
Google search.
And
right? Like,
and even the documentary kind of said that in the very beginning. I think the line was like, once if you have a son and you see him raise up, like you see any picture of boys, they're going to be flexing.
Yeah.
Which is like I'm not going to say that's some inherent thing in our genes or something. But
I make my son do it all the time. Like, dude, hey, Flat, show me your muscles.
Yeah.
You know, he loves doing it.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
And I don't think it has anything to do, or Taika's another one. You know, Bart's kid, my nephew's like Bart, or like he is in sports and he chooses to go. Like Bart made him go to a bunch, and then he chooses the one, you know, and now he does the ones he likes, and he's 7 going on 8, and he swims, he does jiu-jitsu, he plays basketball, but he sees Bart work out every morning at 6 a.m. when he's in the kitchen, you know, eating with Gio or something. And then even when I've been there and I've seen it on social media too, he'll run out and start working out. And then like first thing I saw him 2 weeks ago, Bart opens the door, and he's just sitting there with his shirt up, flexing his abs at me. He's just pointing at him, you know. and Taika's got no, like he still doesn't even really know that Bart's like famous on the internet, you know. Like he knows because he'll get recognized, but he's not on social media. He's like the regular kid. He'll play a little Minecraft here and there, but he's not like on Instagram. He doesn't know Christian Guzman and shit, you know. But still, there's something in you that you want to be strong and powerful, and like my mom,
primal.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like I don't know what it is, but my mom even remember saying like me asking her what's about to get me like fit, you know, and then she's feeding me spinach and shit, you know, like, and that's a great mom tactic, by the way, but because then I believed it. But truly, like, and that's me being like 6, 7, 8 also. So I don't know, and I'm not saying social media hasn't had any negative impact. Obviously, it's full of trash, and some people are pushed by it, but I don't know if it's a new problem.
My feeling about the whole thing was that the guys that we were shown, like five guys that we were shown here,
if that maybe 3 or 4. I don't remember.
That they concentrate. Well, none of them had like a distinct personality, so that was an issue.
They're almost too young to interview yet because they're like still in the problem.
Yeah, exactly, still in the problem. They were all lacking good information.
Yeah,
and. Okay, so if that's the case, then you should be making this documentary as an informational thing that provides good information, and then you should not be charging for it on the fucking internet. Yeah. You should be giving it to schools or whatever to show, and not just boys, but also girls that you know, they're going to develop body image problems, dysmorphia, whatever, and I mean, the story that they the through line that they kind of hang the whole thing on is the kid who died from caffeine.
Yeah, which has nothing to do with the topic.
Which had nothing to do with the topic at all.
And that was completely irrelevant to the entire other storyline going on.
Right, exactly.
Which probably didn't have body dysmorphia. He just took some pre-workout his buddy gave him and had a very severe, obviously life-ending reaction.
Which probably was the better story. Like, follow that from front to back. Yeah. And now we can dig into a supplement journey story. But that's not what this movie's supposed to be. And shout out to the LaGrange. That's outside Cleveland. Like, I know exactly where it is. And it is sad. Yeah. Like, what kind of buddy in modern day is dealing you a plastic baggie full of caffeine powder? Like, that is sketch.
But it doesn't tell you don't take the whole freaking thing.
Yeah,
But it's also, I don't, without, like, undermining that serious, like, event, they just didn't really talk about, like, remember they asked the dad, like, hey, like, do you know if they told him about, like, they didn't have any information about the death? Like, but then there's also, you can't buy pure caffeine powder.
Yeah, you would know better than me.
It's illegal. Yeah. You can't buy it.
Yeah, you think on some sketch website?
I mean, you can go to Silk Road and probably get it. Yeah. Or, like, I'm sure there's, like, I'm sure there's some, you know how you can buy, like, gear online? If you, like, buy the certain pieces and you can make it yourself, whatever. Like, I'm sure you can find it.
Right.
But, like, as a high school kid, know how to just, like, go source, like, pure caffeine, and he's giving it to his friends at a danger. I don't know if we had enough information on what he actually took, or if he just had a bad reaction to, like, a strong pre-workout.
Yeah, did we test that shit? Was it ephedrine?
Like, we sell, like, our Clearly Caffeine product, right? Like, it's 150 milligrams per scoop.
Right.
But, it's all white, and it's in that little jar. It's it's not pure caffeine.
Right.
By any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. It has caffeine in it, but, like, one little scoop probably has, like, you know, tiny amounts of caffeine. It's only 100 milligrams, right?
Yeah, I don't know the actual, like, high level of toxicity.
You could drink that whole thing and it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, you're just going to shit your brains out and feel dizzy.
So, like, how much that he had to have taken, which means that he has, like, pure 100% caffeine.
Or has some other shit in there.
Yeah, or it was something else. Like, it sounded like they didn't have any information at all. Yeah, it was very strange.
Which was the better story, which I've, preached about on the internet forever. Like, why aren't supplements, if they're going into a human body, how are they not regulated by the same food that's going into a human body? Like, why isn't FDA involved at all? Just because I say this is a supplement, all of a sudden now I have zero regulation.
Yeah, it's just because of that one act,
Right. But my point is, like, we could change acts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, if we ever agree on anything in Congress ever again,
I mean, this one seems pretty bipartisan to me.
you would think. You would think it's.
Well, somebody's uncle owns a caffeine facility.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, the Saddoris, as I heard.
Sorry, guys, I ran like way too fast of a mile before this.
I saw you. You were booking, man.
I got the Fran lung right now.
You need some water?
Dude. All right.
It got very weird toward the end where it was like point counterpoint with the one dude who was saying that supplements aren't the problem.
Yeah. And they're like, not if we're talking about body dysmorphia and shit. But there's also no reason for them not to be regulated, at least somewhat.
Right.
Oh,
and
sure.
I'm not a regulation guy. Like, I don't want my shit to be regulated, but if you're putting it in a human body, we should probably have some kind of rules around what we're putting in there.
The problem is the guy at the GNC or the guy that owns the Chevron needs to be IDing kids for Bang, because it says right on the can 18 and up.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know kids that are 12 years old that live in my neighborhood going across the street and just buying it.
That
Right
blew
now.
my mind. I was, this is probably 10 years ago now. I guess probably 12 years ago now, when I used to run a basketball league and coach high school basketball, and I saw like an 8th grader, maybe a freshman in high school, drinking a Red Bull pregame. And I'm just sitting there
You're
like,
crazy.
and I'm just like, what the fuck kind of kid are you that you like can't get excited to go play like in a championship tournament?
If that doesn't get you like fired up, what will?
Dude, at that age, you're just done for. Like,
Do we
you're
need to set the house on
Just
fire?
just
no,
fried.
he'll never be excited again.
It's fried.
He'll never be excited again. Like, I started drinking coffee, and I thought it was early, but I was probably like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
I started drinking coffee in the morning because it was the first time I tried to like diet for real, and you need a little kick in the morning. Like, and then sure, I'm addicted ever since. But like to drink a Red Bull, even under 18, like, you're just trying to get high.
Yeah.
Like, are you just trying to like feel something? Like, that's crazy to me. It didn't even cross my mind. I didn't even want it.
Yeah. No, you didn't really need it when you're that age.
I didn't
You
even
really
think
don't.
about it. And my mom drank coffee left and right, and she's sipping mate my entire life, always in front of me. I never once was like, damn, will that juice me out? Give me that.
We had a sketch. Looking back at it now, we had a like an ag teacher at our school that sold like NOS energy drinks. When we were like freshmen,
Under the table? What?
out of the classroom.
That's sick.
So you'd see like your buddy walking around with like, that's when they put the NOS in like that looked like the NOS can.
I
plastic.
loved the original
It
NOS.
was the shop teacher, and it was actual NOS.
Might as well have been.
I love the original NOS, by the way.
It was the OG NOS.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good energy drink.
The flavor, they still have it. They have a sugar-free one now.
Yeah, no,
It's
NOS was
fire.
good. I used to grab that. I'd ride my bike to American River College, go to class at 8 in the morning because I had work in the afternoon, come home, grab a NOS.
Dude, NOS is bomb.
And I have about an hour just to fry on Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and then I'd head
that
off
sounds
to
like
work.
that sounds like the dream.
No, it was a dream for a
Um,
second, yeah.
But yeah, anyways, he would sell them to us. And we were all fucking 14, 15 years old buying these. It was the big bottles, too. It wasn't the 16-ounce can.
No, they used to make, remember
It was a
even the
fucking
Monsters?
bottle.
Yeah, everything was like fucking 30 ounces.
Yeah, it's like, dude, we were drinking 400 milligrams of caffeine at 14 years old and supposed to go to class.
Do you know you're supposed to go to class and begin with your little bodies aren't supposed to sit down all day?
Dude, anyways, yeah, that was sketch. But I don't even, dude, I was watching this and I just couldn't, like, and then they had that whole build-up climax to this one kid's story that he, like, hurt his back working out and then he quit working out. I'm like,
yeah, then he's
that's
just,
the whole story
and
arc
his
for this
parents,
kid?
His parents were, like, excited he got hurt and stopped working out.
Also, what's totally ignored the fact that the kid's skateboarding, that fucking destroys your back. I skated for half my life.
No,
and my back is wrecked from skating, going downstairs, landing on your back.
So he hurts his
over and
back.
over again.
He hurts his back. Then he goes to a pediatrician, which is clearly a lifting and back expert. And the pediatrician says, your body's not made to have muscle.
Dude.
And him and his mom say, "Yup, that's right." And then he has a monologue in the documentary saying, "I wish I would have known earlier that, yep, my body's just not made to have muscle."
Dude, it was such a
What the fuck are we doing, Men's Health?
Dude,
That was the cringiest part of a very cringy.
That's so bad. Like, Men's Health is just literally making myths that we've spent a decade to fight.
It doesn't make, dude, the fact that they actually made this, I couldn't help to think that this is some kind of
It's a psyop.
counter narrative thing to get you to buy more Men's Health somehow? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That poor kid though, saying like, yeah, my body's not made to. Like, unless a pediatrician argued, like, hey, like, yeah, like, Arnold takes steroids, your body can't hold that kind of muscle without steroids. Okay, that's a conversation. But, like, just to say the way you're built can't hold muscle?
I had a neurologist a few months ago. Well, actually, it was maybe about a year ago now. Tell me that too much exercise just makes you hungry. So,
that's
if you're trying to exercise to lose weight, it's a losing proposition. Doctors are not good at this. For the most part.
That's why America's fat. They're just all exercising so hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. It's too much exercise. It's just like you shouldn't eat that fruit. You're gonna get fat.
Yeah,
right?
no one got fat. There's sugar
fruit.
in it, idiot.
Yeah.
But these kids were all told, like, obviously before this thing started, before they started shooting it, like, oh, you guys are hurting yourselves by working out.
Yeah.
And so they all parrot these same lines toward the end there about,
They said a crazier one. They said his bones weren't growing as fast as his muscle and it's causing pain.
Yes, that's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Right? And then they showed some crazy chart.
I'm just a guy that's inflating.
Yeah, just a fucking Hulk Hogan with no bones. Like... Yeah, the chart.
Stretch Armstrong.
The chart was from Wall-E when they show the metamorphosis of the humans getting too fat and losing muscle. That was the chart they stole. Like, dude, what the fuck is that doctor talking about?
Dude, it was all just. It was like
it's just made up.
It was like Men's Health got sued, and in the lawsuit they said you have to make a documentary about the negative things, and they're like, okay, well, we got like 2 weeks to make this thing.
We got to make up some negative things.
Grab 3 kids that look like have never touched a weight in their life, and let's talk about, and let's just act like that. Let's pretend they've been to a gym before. They've had only one footage of a kid being in a gym, and it was the skateboard kid.
Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah. Was the skateboard kid also the bones growing too fast kid?
Yes,
which is counter to the other doctor saying he can't build muscle.
Yeah,
dude, it was.
He has too much muscle over here and can't build muscle over here.
It was such a mess.
I don't know why.
It was probably one of the worst things I've ever watched.
The top, the last documentary, it's not the last one, but a documentary that was decent was the one where the mini experiment where they try to make people famous on social media.
Oh, yeah.
That was medium decent.
Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be along those lines.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be more... Honestly, I thought it was going to be more steroid inflected.
Yeah. I thought there would be a mention too.
I thought that's what the... Yeah,
that might be a Men's Health thing, right? Because they try to be so PC, I feel like, and didn't want to mention it.
I thought some kids were going to be taking SARMs and it fucked them up.
I wish.
Get some real side effects.
You wanted some fucking liver failure in this bitch.
Yeah, I wanted some shit. Because dude,
not a sore back from skateboarding a pipe.
Yeah,
I want the whites of your eyes to be yellow. I want
to see some real shit.
It was kind of pussy. And the kids, man, I feel bad, but I think Jim's right. One, they're too young to have a story and a personality. So why aren't we interviewing a 26-year-old, and then we could start his story when he's 14. Right? And then all right, are you adjusted now, or because 26-year-olds are still impressionable, we're still fucked up. I'm fucked up. I scroll on my Instagram, everyone's jacked. I want to take fucking steroids every day because of it.
Yeah.
That story. Yeah, talk to some fucking adults that could tell a story. I don't know, man.
There's also I'm not even convinced, dude. That one kid was even trying to work out. The one kid.
There's 3 kids. Or there's 3 kids plus LaGrange. I'm with you though. We'll get there. So we have skater kid with a little afro.
Yeah, and then there was
there's an Indian kid with glasses, and then maybe a Latin or Asian type kid, right? Those are the 3.
And then there was the Asian kid.
Yeah.
Who was running.
Yeah.
He had a running segment.
So we had those 3, and then we had LaGrange, which and that was it.
And they all just weren't eating.
No, they all. That's the main thing they talked about, not eating, and then. They really didn't even talk about lifting.
They were talking about taking diet pills. I think a lot of them taking caffeine diet pills or something. And one of them actually said with a straight face that because I took these diet pills, my body no longer loses weight.
Yeah.
And you look at him and you're like, well, you just don't work out.
Yeah.
And you're not in a caloric deficit.
Yeah, even that. How's Men's Health allow more myths to be built around weird metabolism?
Yeah, somebody told him that, or he read it on the internet.
No, he read it.
Or whatever, and he just spit it out.
Yeah, he probably read it in Men's Health.
No, he just went from not eating to now eating and not taking diet caffeine pills.
And he's probably not moving. They even said in the beginning, me and a lot of my friends don't leave the house. It's yeah, man, you got to walk if you want to try to.
You got to also just, dude. Yeah,
I live in Queens. We don't leave the house.
Show us your diet.
Yeah, they're video game kids, and I get that too. That could be a whole documentary itself. I've talked about that for a long time.
Show me a documentary of a kid like us growing up, but in a social media era, starts taking fucking over-the-counter SARMs, fucking fucks him up, goes to the hospital, gets jacked at one point, fucks him up, gets gyno, some shit crazy, and then like tell us that story.
Yeah, and let's talk to him when he's 30.
Because he's fucked up, and now his hormones are all fucked up.
Yeah.
Tell us that's the real story. That's what I thought this was going to be.
Well, and all of it is just whatever, you know. Like my best reference is he's my cousin's kid technically, you know, but he's 18 now, 17, 16, junior in high school, plays basketball. My whole family's on dad's side. They're all pretty large. You know, we like our food. We're Italians. And, like, he's skinny as shit playing high school varsity basketball. Like, you know, like, he's not these aren't, like, the norm. You know, there's sides to all this. Like,
this just wasn't built around fitness at all.
No, and
I know helpful
built around
tips.
Eating disorders.
Lead us with like a 1990s sitcom. At least like wrap it up into like a good moral at the end. You know, they didn't like leave us with nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't even a South Park ending.
Yeah, no, we got nothing. We got no positive in this. And you're right. The main things were like this FDA like lover versus like the whole documentary. And that guy like looked like a fucking robot. Like he was soulless.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a soulless politician doctor guy. Yeah.
He was not convincing anybody about anything. But I mean, even if you buy his arguments, outside of him, he's not selling anything, you know?
No, and the same idea is like he could have easily said like, yeah, this is how the law works right now. I don't agree with it, and we could pass something to change it. You know, like there's a million options. That guy just said like, well, this is how it is since 1974.
What was the enemy in the documentary? Was it social
caffeine
media?
Pill?
Yeah, apparently caffeine, but that was
it was supposed to be social media. I mean, that's again, I don't know where I found it. Maybe it was even Men's Health, but like they promoted about a big dysmorphia based on social media. I was like, all right, like give me some data. Like there probably is data. It's an easy interview. That's an easy survey.
And I mean, if you're going to say, oh, I've damaged my metabolism or whatever, then show some fucking study that backs that up.
Yeah, your
right?
Men's Health.
Yeah, show us like his blood work.
Men's Health probably has doctors like on their board. Like, just call one.
Yeah, just anybody, somebody.
Yeah. Call a trainer. Don't just throw me highlights of Trend Twins in the background. That's what they did. They said social media, and they show the fucking Trend Twins YouTube. What the fuck?
Sam Solik.
Yeah, that's literally what they showed. So weird.
It just I don't know if they picked the people based off of like a representation type of like point of view.
You think it's a DEI documentary?
Dude, watch it again and tell me it's not.
It does feel like they didn't like choose the story. Like they didn't choose these kids. They didn't like talk to 100 kids and then choose like the most charismatic kid or the best story kid. It did choose like they just like knocked on a door in the Bronx, said like, yeah, you'll do. Yeah, like your story's good enough.
Well, the one kid was just all he talked about was he didn't want to. He didn't even talk about like wanting to be big or wanting to be buff. He just talked about going to school and being stressed from school and not eating from the stress of school and then taking diet pills to make him full, he thought.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to keep studying because he was so busy. Yeah. It had nothing to do with like, he didn't really talk about like, oh, I watched the Trend Twins video and I thought I would take these pills and look like them.
I think you're right. The documentary talked about social media, but none of the kids necessarily did.
No.
The kids dysmorphia more came, I think they almost all mentioned like wrestlers at their school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of them mentioned like, oh yeah, I watched fucking Bartquan and wanted to get jacked.
And they're talking about like their friends were all sponsored and like selling. Like, what are you talking? What school do you live at? The Influencer Academy? What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. New York or whatever might be different.
I'm sure, dude. You know what's funny, dude? Like, imagine going to school with somebody now, like as a kid that's like Instagram famous or TikTok famous. Like that's a thing now. Like, there's some kid that's got 5 million followers on TikTok that's in your fucking math class.
Yeah, tons.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
seems wrong.
It is wrong.
Yeah, or like the little kids that were famous for like opening toy boxes. They're now like 16.
Yeah,
you know, where the parents
Ryan's World.
Yeah, where parents are holding guns to their head to make them open a fucking the new M&M flavor.
Dude. With the little kid that's stoned from the dentist, the very old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor kid never had a career though.
No.
Just one viral thing, never got paid. Any British?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know. It was just so poor. How much money did they waste on this thing?
Yeah.
God, I don't know, man.
So editing was bad too. It did feel very YouTube-y. It felt like old YouTube-y, not even good new YouTube-y.
It felt like a shitty Vice documentary. Like, or like something like Vice would make now.
But like Vice is even better.
I mean, old Vice was like fantastic.
But even
right?
new Vice is better than that.
Yeah, no, everything is better than this though. That's the thing.
Yeah, we could whip one out ourselves.
You guys, we could in this room right now.
No,
we could
easily
write one and make one 100 times better in a month.
Yeah,
with no budget.
Yeah, literally
$0.
Because you didn't really
we have
need
one
a
phone call
budget.
away from building this documentary.
And so were they. Like, what budget did they need? Like, obviously, yeah, editor or whatever, you know. But like, I'm sure Men's Health has that
but
on
you know
salary.
you know who fucking works at Men's Health now, dude? It's not fucking gym people.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah. It was a quick switch.
Like, we're gym people. We know people in our life is the gym, you know, to some extent. So it's like, we make the calls and get people here tomorrow and do that.
I thought I had some legs, man. I think it was 2016 when I worked with them, or 2015, maybe 2017. You know, we did a bunch of how-tos on like legit exercises and some cool shit, and then. Yeah, my, because I probably follow them on like Facebook or something, you know, and I just get fed dog shit from them all the time. It's mostly about like fucking STDs and shit. Like my whole fucking Men's Health, that's like all they talk about is like weird shit.
I used to be a subscriber to it. I'd get they're all in the mail every month. I loved
good.
It was cool when you were a kid. Like that's what we got. Those muscle magazines. Like I personally never really related to the like crazy roided muscle.
I didn't want to be like that either.
I was always a Men's Health guy.
Yeah,
I was always like a Men's Health kid and a Maxim magazine kid.
Yeah,
right? Like it was like kind of.
Is that
like
where the Yiddies are?
It was more like bikini stuff. But it was like a man's magazine, right? It's like cars and titties.
Going back to the whole argument of like
cars with titties. So
yeah, the bussy, the kadusi.
And there would also be like fitness stuff in there.
Yeah,
there would be like you know, like cool gadgets. Like Max magazine was sick.
This whole premise does just like rock my brain too, because I remember like traveling with my parents, like go see Cleveland, see family, or Argentina to see family, and like my dad would buy me like 1 or 2 magazines, and I bought Meathead magazines like even probably junior high and up, because I was just lifting for basketball and shit. And but yeah, even at that age, again, no social media, those are the magazines I wanted. You know, there's something like, I don't want to say it's like inherent in us, but like if you're an athlete, you want to be jacked, and I was the same way. Like I bought all the Meathead ones, but I didn't want to ever look like.
Well, they also have like workout plans in them, right?
Right. I didn't want to be Ronnie Coleman. Like I wanted to look like an NFL guy. Like I wanted to look like my favorite NFL player.
Yeah, I wanted to look like Terrell Owens.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah, Adrian Peterson was my guy. I wanted to look like Adrian Peterson. Yeah. And so I'd buy all those, and again, that was like no influence. None of my friends lifted. I didn't, we've mentioned it on here many times, I didn't really grow up with the Sylvester Stallone, Arnold shit. I wasn't like into, my dad wasn't really a meathead. He was into sports, but for some reason I wanted to be, like a sports meathead. So I don't ever want to say like social media doesn't have a negative impact, because I think it does. Yeah. But like, I don't think it's like a 0 to 100, because I think it's been like that. And women say the same thing, obviously, since like whatever Twiggy in the 70s. Like as soon as like models became 90 pounds, every woman felt pressure. But the truth is like that's changing in a semi-good way too, where like our entire childhood, and probably Jim's, most of it, like you could name like the famous model.
Yeah.
Right? We always had like Banks, whatever.
Yeah.
Name one now.
Yeah, they're
not cool, right? The social media people are cool.
Bella Hadid.
Yeah, but even her,
like
right?
2, but she's like older. She's old.
And she's like an actress or a singer.
Out of it.
They're
she's
all
out of it.
Yeah, and they all do other shit.
Yeah,
right?
they're the celebrity's daughter or something. Right.
But
Baldwin's.
like the it girl or the hot girl or whatever is probably from social media.
Kate Moss.
Yeah, or an
old
Actress.
School. That's old.
Yeah, that's old too.
Yeah,
no one listening. I guess they're probably our age listening, but no one outside these walls knows fucking Kate Moss anymore.
No, they're like who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the hot chick is who's the fucking TikToker Filipino chick turned singer? Fuck. Bella?
Oh.
Porch. Right? Like that's the hot girl.
Or Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokey. Like they're like streamers or like content creators. You know what I mean? So like, and they're normal as shit. I actually think in a good way, streaming is that. No shots at Pokey. I think she's rad, but like she's very normal. She's not like jacked and she's not like anorexic. Like she's pretty, but she's like very normal. Like that's probably a good influence. And same with all these streamers. Like Kai or whatever. Like they're healthy enough, but they're not jacked and they're not like skinny. So I don't know. I don't know what like the actual influence is.
I feel like a lot of the streamers are into like just normal fitness too, though.
No,
right?
it's getting popular.
Like
as shit.
Tifu, he's into training. He was getting jacked.
I mean, that's literally where I was all January. All the boys like were into lifting, so I went out to Agent and like, they're all doing it. Like, I show Speed's trying to get fit, Kai's trying to get fit. Like they like it on, I think, what seems like a healthy level.
Yeah, and it's also like a broad age range as well.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah, like Brian Koppelman, who was the co-creator, showrunner of Billions on Showtime, and he played the computer, the calculator, the computer. I don't know, whatever on this last season of The Bear. Followed me back on Instagram recently, and I realized he's like connected to a bunch of people we know.
Fitness folk?
Yeah, fitness folks, and he's got like gym videos and stuff now, and he's, 56, 57, something like that. And like, it's a broad age range of people who've gotten into fitness. It feels like these kids none of these kids in this thing actually played sports, right?
None of them.
So they didn't have the influence of a coach or a strength and conditioning person.
Right.
So they didn't have a mentor for any of this stuff.
Right.
So,
not to judge, their parents didn't seem into it at all.
Well, also their parents seemed like first generation immigrants, like not like that. They just weren't accustomed to American culture, which is very heavily ingrained in like extracurricular activities such as fitness.
To give my dad props, which I do all the time, but some of it's just logic too. Like my dad grew up in an era where like lifting weights was like whatever. Like he played college football and rugby, and they lifted, but it's not the same, right?
Not
like,
the same as it is.
And
now,
so my dad knew that, and when he knew I wanted to take sports seriously, he got me a trainer. Like that. Some of that's just like I think good parenting, and obviously I was very lucky that my dad could afford that and all these blessings. But these kids are looked in a pretty nice brick house in fucking Brooklyn or wherever the hell they were.
It seemed
they
like
could probably afford $100 trainer, and so like some of that's on the parents' responsibility.
At the very least, someone to get them set up.
Yeah, something
with good information. And they had shitty information.
And
the one kid that kept saying, I'm taking these pills instead of eating because like it's as good or better than
Dude,
what?
But also, what pills are you talking about?
That was never clear.
There's no like protein pills.
Yeah, there's amino acids. You just shit your brains out.
Yeah, people aren't eating like liver tablets anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? What pills are you taking?
I don't want to like be insensitive either because again, I agree with the topic of this whole thing, but like some of it's on you to be a dumb shit too.
Yeah,
like I found my own like early internet YouTube. When I really got into this stuff, I had to filter out dog shit.
Yeah.
Like I had to really work to find me a Matt Ogus, to find me Omar, to find me Bart, of guys that are like wanting to seek the truth like me, because there's equal, if not more amounts selling you liver pills and dog shit.
Yeah.
So like some of it, and I know these are kids, but like some of it's like, come on, motherfucker! Like, just like think, use a little bit of logic when you're learning these things too.
We need to actually be providing them like consumer education, like how to be a consumer of information or products or whatever.
Or why aren't schools doing it yet? Right?
It was like an attack on the word pills. It was a buzzword. It was a buzzword documentary. They kept saying pills with no context.
Men's Health losing all their fucking ads because they're just ripping all these pills.
Dude, like what the?
I don't know what their thought process was.
All I could think about is like all the people that you're talking about are the people that pay your bills.
Yeah, you promote
What are we doing?
Yeah, that is true. But why isn't like school doing this stuff, right? Like I know PE's getting cut and all these budget cuts in all these different states, but like, and I know there's arguments to be made about like sex ed at home versus sex ed education there. I'm not one to say, I don't have kids, but like how are we not doing some like basic ass nutrition and basic ass like exercise stuff when our number one problem in the nation is how fat motherfuckers are?
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Right? Like our number one problem, like it's probably number two problem. Like, yeah, it seems like we're getting dumber versus the rest of the world. That's probably an issue as well. We should probably just up the education, but that's a bigger pie to attack.
Yeah.
To literally have one course a semester, every age from like 5th grade and up on like basic nutrition and some healthy habits seems to be affordable and an easy fix for when our nation is all dying of diabetes and our meds are going up because everyone needs them and blah, blah, blah. The trickle effect is fucking insane. So you hire one decent educator to come in for one semester and teach them about fucking macronutrients, fiber, and how to do a proper air squat. And it's going to make some progress.
Oh, dude, it's just, yeah. I like what Jim said earlier. This felt like something that you would show kids at a school for free. Not putting it behind a paywall. Not behind a paywall.
On a rain day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, it's like, oh, we got to figure something out. I'll put that in that shitty video we got from Men's Health. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, kind of.
That's what it like. I mean, they must.
Is it worse than Brian?
They must have probably looked at the stats last night and were like, hey, guys, we got a spike in views. We got 3 people that bought this in one day. They're probably like, what's going on? What ad is this from?
We're killing it. We're killing it.
What ad is this from? We got to find out and double down.
I was riding the struggle about staying awake on this one.
Yeah, luckily
even
it was
more
short.
than the last one.
Luckily, it was shorter.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Thank God.
I'll tip my hat to Men's Health because I checked my time on the thing about halfway. I'm like, all right, I made it halfway. I can make it.
I was working on some stuff in my office and I had this on and didn't miss a line from it. Like
it didn't move so fast.
There wasn't any substance.
Yeah, it wasn't moving so fast.
There wasn't anything to miss.
What we need y'all to do is go to like goodcompanydiscord.com, join our Discord, and like send us documentaries. Obviously, it's a big part of what we do anyways as content, but I think if you could send us some like dope ones that you guys have already watched, that would help us. Because I do watch a shit ton of them, but again, I'm watching fucking tigers kill shit in the jungle and shit, so that's probably not something we'll cover here. Although we could.
We could. Yeah. Well,
we should revisit
Planet Earth.
We should revisit the Tiger King.
Tiger King, bro, I missed the whole wave of it because we were building the gym here.
I want to rewatch that again. I'm going to give it probably a couple more years, though, then I'll rewatch it from the start.
There's a big push for either Biden on the way out or Trump on the way in to pardon him.
Oh my god!
But that one wasn't bad by any means. It was so viral though, and we were building the gym, so I didn't watch shit.
Yeah, I didn't. I never watched it.
But I watched it in like 2023. I watched it like
good.
last year. It is pretty good.
It's so well done.
It is pretty good.
It's so well done. The story arc and the catastrophe of it all.
It's amazing.
It was like, how is this real?
No, it's amazing. Yeah, so if y'all want to do that, join Discord and just like start chucking your favorite docs in there. They could be older, semi-fitness related would be good because I do think that's a cool. These conversations, I think we do regular movies, which are good and fine conversations, but like the potential for a good conversation and making a meaningful change, I think, is huge if we keep going on docs. And I do enjoy them. Although, even though these are total trash, I still enjoy the discussions that come from them.
For sure. I was excited to talk about this
right.
one.
Yeah.
We're like, I love Iron Man and shit, you know, but like the discussions coming from that just aren't as fruitful for us.
I don't know if I saw one that I actually started, and it's free on Amazon. I started after this one, and then I turned it off because I went upstairs. Was the Rich Piana Chronicles.
Yeah, totally. That's what comes on next.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Rich is from here.
I fucking love Rich.
Well, we need to get another episode in this week, so yeah.
Yeah, we could do Rich.
I'm down to do that one.
Yeah, we could do Rich Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. Let's
I'm probably totally solid on Friday.
Yeah, let's do Friday. We'll do Rich Piana Chronicles, it's called.
Yeah, Rich Piana Chronicles.
Yeah. He's a NorCal boy. You knew that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I think technically Vacaville, but yeah, he's from here.
I went to his wedding.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Really?
We did a YouTube wedding. He did
I'll
it.
send you the picture of me and him kind of shortly before at the Arnold.
I only had one good chat. We were setting up booths at an expo, maybe San Jose, maybe LA, and he was across the way. We had like a little 10-20 minute chat, but I didn't know the guy that well. But I do know
him. I just stumbled on his wedding.
That's funny.
Yeah, Mr. Piana.
I'm a big fan. I was a big fan.
He's very entertaining. He is kind of anti my
philosophy.
Yeah.
Kind of everything
my
about
niche.
it.
Yeah. But he is highly entertaining. So if you take it at that, I'm all with it.
You watch it like you got to watch him from a spectacle, not
but people
as like
didn't. That was the issue.
An
right?
idol.
Talking about like this to wrap it into this thing. You know, like he had a lot of good messages, hard work, and et cetera, and he was highly entertaining. But then, like, his actual substance could easily. I mean, imagine that poor Indian kid in Brooklyn watching Rich Piana. You know? Like that's why he's taking all the
eggs.
Why do you think he's taking 20 pills every morning? You know, he's walking Brian Johnson and Rich Piana every morning, just ruining his fucking nutrition.
That'll
brain.
fry you. That's the problem where you gotta. Yeah, you watch that when you're like a seasoned, you know what's good and what's bad information. Then you join the Rich Piana.
Yeah, the Cali muscles and all
Watch
them.
Fest.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Cali muscle.
All the Ziz, you know, like there's a lot of entertainment that should probably be left as entertainment, not educational on there, you know.
Yeah. Remember the Cali muscle? That was like a YouTube viral.
He's
up
here
viral
too.
on YouTube.
Yeah, he's Oakland.
From his like prison
hyphy mud.
Yeah, his prison pre-workout.
Yeah, hyphy mud. I think it was
Coca-Cola and
Folgers, right?
Yeah, but it was like instant coffee.
That's what I mean, like the fucking
crystals.
Little rocks. Yeah.
And I think
have you ever even had that?
Other shit.
Folgers? Where it's like you just put water in these rocks.
Not that.
That's like real Folgers.
I've had the powder.
No, it's like literally like think of like really thick like salt. But it's brown, and you just put hot water in it or cold water.
Oh no, yeah, I've had that.
All right, yeah. So that's.
But I'm thinking like really big rocks.
No, like thick salt.
Pebbles.
Yeah, mini pebbles. So he did that, and then would chug a Coke in there, and that was his prison pre. And then he came out with a real pre based on that, but it went viral, and he was fucking jacked. He started pushing like Call of Duty and shit early with me too. He was like one of the first like meatheads to go over to the Twitch world and try to do COD. He was terrible at the game, and then now he's on some like water fast 80%, like
watermelon and
bro. He looks like Remember 50 Cent did a movie where he got down to like 120 pounds? He looks like that.
Yeah.
He like only eats like watermelon and water for like a week straight. He lost everything. He's like 100 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, he looks insane.
Cancer, right?
He's kind of
Oh,
doing,
maybe he got sick
I
too.
think he got sick.
But he changed his whole philosophy in life, and like he's just hella skinny.
Interesting.
Yeah,
He was going through. I remember he got in like an argument with some fight. You see that video where he got in like an argument about someone stepping in front of his camera?
Yeah, that's when I
at the gym. Remember that?
All that luckily like lined up as I started like sidestep away from the industry because motherfuckers started fighting each other at expos and shit.
Yeah,
like,
it was
shit
weird.
started getting
it was
weird.
Like there was like a Golds and this other popular guy walked in front of his camera and they were filming out front.
Yeah,
and
they
it was
start
like
shoving,
fighting in the parking lot.
I think he pulled a knife on him.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, he did pull a knife on him. He did. You're right. It's like, what did you do? Stab me?
Yeah, YouTube beef for real.
You could have stabbed me?
Yeah,
that?
stab me over views.
Oh man, yeah. It was weird. That was a weird video. Anyways, yeah. You spend the $4 on this. Check it out.
Yeah, see if you hate it as much as we did.
Yeah, we
Jesus
do want you
Christ.
guys to watch along with us, but I'll save you this one. You
It
guys
says
can
right
skip
there.
this
When
one.
it says right there, 14. So there was 4 guys. When 14 boys
Yeah.
decide to bulk and get cut, actually had nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that at all.
Shady supplements, like that's true. But then, yeah, why would they interview and like they almost made the FDA guy the hero?
Life-changing setbacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still like 12. That's the issue is that like the story happened when they're 16 and now they're 16 and a half.
Yeah,
You know?
not really enough time.
Yeah,
to
they
even
didn't evolve.
gauge an impact at
Nothing.
all. Yeah,
Nothing. It was filmed in a week.
yeah,
It
pretty
was.
much.
And then the one kid was like, now we started a brand and our message is to fight against social media.
It should be to fight against bad documentaries.
It was
Yeah.
like I don't remember what he was saying.
But you're
I was
right. Like
what
none
are
of
you
them.
talking about?
It's not like you went in the room and they had like fucking Ziz and Kelly Muscle all over the wall. Like the social media was such a small part. They mentioned it, but
They're
none
all
of the
in dorm
kids.
rooms. They're all in dorm rooms.
Yeah, none of the kids mentioned like, man, I'm obsessed with X jacked person.
Do you think that they started filming this like during their senior year of high school, and then they caught back up with them when they
Maybe.
were in
That's what it
college?
felt like.
Maybe.
So they filmed 2 weeks,
Yeah.
one week in high school, 1 week in
Yeah,
college.
June and then August.
If you would have called this like boys have bulimic boys or some shit,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
that would have made more sense.
Well, and that story's good too. Like men, because again, like eating disorders are predominantly like thought of as a woman's or young woman
Yeah.
thing, but
That
it's
would've been
just
a
as
better
common to
documentary.
guys. Like
yeah.
diving deep into that rabbit hole would be really good too. Like we've had multiple. I think Furious Pete started his career that way.
Yeah.
Like he was in the hospital from being like bulimic or having an ED. Like shout out my boy Eric the Electric. Happens to be both these guys are big competitive eaters now, but they both started their journey like because there are some kind of EDs involved. Like that would have been a way better story. And then you can interview those guys who are like trained to talk well,
Yeah.
because they're YouTubers and they have a legitimate story. That would have been so much better.
Yeah, that's kind of what this was about, though.
It
more
was.
than about like
Yeah, pill
body
addiction.
dysmorphia from like, and then getting jacked and taking the bad stuff
Yeah.
and getting hurt.
No, you're
Yeah.
right.
That's what this description's telling you is that it's what it's about, but that's not what it's about at all. It's about just kids that didn't eat or had eating disorders, which is totally not talked about enough in men, like Mike
Yeah,
just
I
said.
agree.
But that's just it was very just misleading documentary. The title, it's just like because you think of Generation Iron, they know what they're doing to get you to watch
Yeah.
it, but it's just it was very misleading.
All the
subject.
topics are good, and they covered none of them good.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the topics are really good. The supplement issue with young men, or just in general with the FDA, the body dysmorphia in males or social media or movies, whatever, really, really good. EDs in males, young, old, medium, really,
Yeah.
really good. They're all really good topics that haven't had a good light shown on them. And instead, Men's Health put out this butchered ass thing.
Yeah.
Well, shall we rank this motherfucker?
Yeah. And how many pills or what?
I'm gonna say baggies of pure caffeine.
Yeah, damn it, dude. I didn't like Brian, but I gave Brian like a 2.3, I think. So I'll have to give this like a 1.8, like a 1.5.
I'm gonna give it a 0.
That might be a first 0.
I'm gonna give it half a baggie. That's what
I'm
I'm
a
giving
0
it, half a
bags.
baggie.
I'm addicted to caffeine, so I can't have 0 bags. I need at least one of them.
In that
shits.
case, 0.5 bags.
Yeah, I know
0.5
you're addicted too.
0.6 bags
Yeah.
of caffeine out of 5. I mean, this was on. I'm not even like I'm trying to think if I've seen a worse documentary. I don't think I have.
And I love documentaries, even bad ones. I find I try to see the positive. I find something good, and this one sucked.
It didn't.
Not a single resonating.
They didn't have a plan when they started. And that's I mean, or they had too much of a plan.
No,
when
I
they
think
started.
what happened is I think they had too much of a plan, did poor like talent selection, and then just like stuck with that. Rather than like, oh, these guys probably don't line up with our story. Let's go find a new story or a new person. They didn't.
Yeah, when you're shooting a documentary, you have to shoot a bunch of coverage. Not just the person talking, but the B-roll coverage, right? And then you have to select your clips for other illustration stuff very precisely so that the things line up,
right? And
they have an impact or whatever. They didn't do any of that.
Well, it's probably harder to make the best story documentary than it is to make like a Lord of the Rings, in the sense that your narrative has to line up with real life stories.
Yeah.
Where like Lord of the Rings, you just
make up whatever you want.
Yeah, man. Oh, the tree wants to talk now. All right, make the fucking tree talk, right? Like it doesn't matter. They have to kind of line up. But a documentary, the whole story it's your golden thread, and we had no thread here.
This crazy thing that the writer-director Dorina Newton, the only other thing that she's got a credit for is The Resistance with Keith Olbermann.
What the heck's that?
Political talk show, I think.
It's just like it seemed like that a group of people that work at Men's Health that have actually no knowledge or history of Men's Health or the brand.
Or health.
Yeah. Then just outsourced a broad idea to a company that doesn't specialize in fitness information and said, make us this documentary. Here's how much money you have. We need it in 3 days.
Yeah. I think it maybe actually ran the other way. I think that people put this together and they sold it to Men's Health.
And then they packaged it how they wanted.
Yeah.
Which didn't coincide with the story.
Which just contradicted their entire...
Which makes me want to make a documentary and sell it to them. Because like you said, we can do better than that.
Yeah.
Like we could definitely whip out something better than that and sell it to someone.
We could make a sick documentary. We should sit down and talk about that.
Yeah, no, we could easily do one on fitness.
At least
with
even like a 30
with
or
our
40
two
minute
dumb
one.
brains and these two skill. Yeah, we could definitely whip some shit out.
It could be cool.
No, it could be. Because I think there is a niche for it. Because every one that comes out is pretty mediocre. They had all these CrossFit ones on Netflix. And I love CrossFit, so I kind of liked it. But if you didn't like CrossFit, you didn't care about Thor's daughter's reigning 3-year win, like...
I want a documentary about Ian Wilson.
I know the name. Oh, yeah.
Remember Ian Wilson?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the young protege.
He has a story from... We have footage and story from... We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah.
Too good of an idea.
Don't give away the farm.
Too good of an idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many things like that. But yeah, this was terrible.
All right.
It sucked.
Ladies and gentlemen, new episodes every Wednesday. We'll see you there. Join us on goodcompany.discord.com. It'd be very helpful if you threw us documentaries in somewhere in the fitness or health world that we can chat about, because it'll be fun. If you want to go watch Rich Piana's Chronicles, I would go do that right now because we're going to review it next. Dean, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at deanstores.ck or at Caffeine and Kilos.
I'm Salam Mike, where you want to find me, ladies and gentlemen.
Sebastian.
I'm Sebastian_Brambila on IG.
I am at the Jim McDonald. Although social media, this show is 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% is facts. This is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you next time.
I don't always like being negative, down, or talking shit on pods, but we've had like a lot of good scores.